This is Mountain Perspective with Lawrence Pugliese, Volume 1, Issue 1, a Free Speak and Some production. And we'd like to thank WFTE Radio for allowing us to air it there. Our first installment involves a great conversation with Danielle Adams, a nutritional service tech, and Melissa Teetsel, an RN, and union bargainers for the SEIU local at Tyler Memorial Hospital in Tunkhannock. Here it is. Hello, everyone. I'm Lawrence Pugliese, and we're here today talking with some folks from Tyler Memorial Hospital in Tunkhannock, Pennsylvania. That's in the endless mountains of northeastern Pennsylvania. And we're going to hear about their situation as employees of that hospital. We have Danielle Adams, who works as a nutritional service tech, and we have Melissa Teetsel, who is a registered nurse, both, again, at Tyler Memorial Hospital in Tunkhannock, Pennsylvania. And that hospital was established back in 1948. It has around 50 beds, 40 beds, I understand. It is a hospital that offers a range of diagnostic and therapeutic services to the Endless Mountain region, including medical and surgical care, inpatient, outpatient, and emergency care, and occupational health services, to name a few. And they state that they're a hospital committed to providing quality health care close to home. And these are the folks that make that happen. Again, Danielle Adams, nutritional science tech, and Melissa Teetsel, registered nurse. And you folks are going on strike. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Maybe by the time this airs, you'll be on strike already. Probably so. And why? Why are you going on strike?
You want to go first, Danielle?
I'm sure. I will take it from here. Our contract was up on February 28th, and we have been bargaining with the hospital, or CHS, since January. And needless to say, we have still not reached any type of agreement. Again, our contract expired on the 28th. The hospital refused to extend our contract, yet they've only been giving us maybe one day a month to sit down and bargain. Once we do get to the bargaining table, it's a lot of the runarounds. They don't want to actually get down to business and come up with, agreements to proposals that would work not only to benefit our employees, but also our community. They kind of beat around the bush a lot. There's been a lot of disrespect. They don't take us serious. They don't acknowledge the issues that we're presenting to them as to some of the very crucial issues that we're having at the hospital. They like to waste our time at some of these bargaining sessions. And again, we are taking time out of our day. We don't get paid for these bargaining sessions. And there have been multiple sessions where they've basically taken an entire session to tear apart one specific proposal, and then come to find out that these are proposals that they have no intention of moving on anyway. It's actually called surface bargaining. So flat out, to make it simple, they're actually breaking the law. They're bargaining in bad faith.
And that was Danielle?
Yeah.
And Danielle, what union represents you, folks, at Tyler?
It is SEIU, Healthcare Pennsylvania.
Service Employees International Union. Yeah, well, very, very strong union. And what position do you have on the union?
I am a bargaining committee member. So I'm sitting, myself and Melissa both are actually at these bargaining meetings. Currently, because of the pandemic, they're done via Zoom. Usually they're done in person. However, this is a new time for everybody. So they're currently done it over Zoom. So we all basically sit there and we are members of the bargaining committee. So it's our job to speak for all of the employees in the hospital.
And Melissa, did you want to chime in too as to why you guys are going on strike? Did Danielle hit it all?
I mean, Danielle hit it right on the head. When she said it's disrespect, she's exactly right. I mean, I'm new to the bargaining committee. Actually, I just kind of hopped in to bargain this actual contract. I've always been a union member, but I just became a actual bargaining member, like being on the bargaining committee, and it has just been from day one. You can almost tell as soon as you start these meetings. You can pretty much tell that they have no intentions on coming to an agreement. They have no intention on bargaining fairly. They pick apart proposals. They've done everything they could to not grant us with a strong union contract. That has been their goal from day one, it seems. So, I mean, I would say that in a nutshell is why we're going on strike. I mean, Danielle hit it right on the head, though.
How many members does your local represent?
For Tyler Hospital, I believe it's 83 in the hospital.
So 83 employees are represented, or bargaining unit members.
Yes.
And I'm curious, is that everybody, or do you have people that aren't in the union, or that you don't represent?
Yep, there's people. Some more like registration, some administrative staff. There's just a few departments. There's not a whole lot of people who aren't represented by the union. Maintenance or some, but any actual dietary, housekeeping, imaging, laboratory, nursing, they're all covered under the union.
Yeah, whether they pay for membership or not, I suppose. You represent their position, probably, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's quite a number of people, 83 employees. And do you guys know how long the union has been at Tyler Memorial Hospital?
I don't know the exact amount. I don't know, maybe you know the exact number, Danielle, but it hasn't been long. I want to say it's between 5 and 7 years.
I think it's about 7 or 8 years. I think you're right. I think it's about 7 that SEIU has been there as far as representing the workers at Tyler. I believe it was around the time that CHS actually bought out Tyler.
CHS. What is that? I don't know what that acronym means.
Community Health Systems.
Gotcha. Thank you for filling in the blank.
That's a for-profit corporation that is based in Tennessee that actually owns our hospital.
And okay, got it. So it was a locally owned hospital, probably at one point, right? And then it was sold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you probably
it's been a couple different ownerships.
A couple of different ownerships, and you probably have maybe a couple of different contracts since the union started, I would imagine.
Yeah. I believe this is it's either our third or our fourth.
Third or fourth.
I believe it's our third, though. Yeah.
So what are some of the specific issues right now, besides them, and as you said, they're not bargaining in good faith, surface bargaining. What are some of the things that are important to you on the labor side of the table?
We have, we're not asking for a lot. Currently for our hospital, I'd say the majority of our employees are in the 10 to 25th percentile for wage range in what we do. So a fair wage is definitely important, mainly because we have a lot of issues as far as staffing our hospital. We have issues with retaining staff. We have issues with recruiting staff, especially with what they're offering. Nobody wants to come and work in a hospital, especially during a global pandemic, when they could go across the street to the gas station to make more money. We have, like I said, we have a terrible time right now. Our staffing is a huge issue. We want health and safety language that we've proposed to the hospital that they don't necessarily want to move on. We want, successorship language for any event that the hospital does sell, because CHS is known for selling off small hospitals like ours. We're not asking for anything extreme. We want to be able to safely staff our hospital so that we could better serve our community and our patients.
Excellent. And you said, again, the present contract, well, you're working without a contract now, and the contract that you were working under expired on the 28th, you said?
Yes,
The 20th of was that March?
February.
February. I'm sorry, February. So a couple of months now, and you you are you were bargaining for how long? When did you start bargaining in anticipation of that expiration date?
January?
Yeah, I believe it was January. We originally started bargaining. We had, I want to say it was about 2 or 3 dates in January and also in February. Ever since our contract has expired, the hospital has only offered us maybe 1 day a month. And again, these bargaining sessions are a lot of times just drawn out. It's a lot of back and forth and splitting hairs. And, we can't get anywhere doing that. We've spent so much. Our union has. We've went back on some of our proposal. We've changed our proposals around, and it's to the point where we are currently bargaining against ourselves. Like, we can only bend so much, and CHS does not seem to want. They don't want. It seems like they don't want to reach a fair agreement.
And how does this affect the patients, the community? This difficulty with coming up with a fair contract.
Well, I mean, it affects them in the aspect that if we can't recruit and retain qualified staff, I mean, we have staff members who've been there for, 50 some years, and people are retiring. And I mean, a lot of nurses have retired or are retiring, and they have not replaced anybody. They don't plan to replace anybody. And when they do, they haven't really made any efforts to do that, but, they're not offering anything, like Danielle has said, to recruit and retain qualified employees. So that means a lot for health. I mean, for the patients and for the consumers for healthcare, like down the road. I mean, if you can't keep good staff there, and that doesn't mean just nurses. That means lab workers. That means imaging in every department. If you can't keep people there, then obviously the patient care can suffer. I'm not going to say that it's not great patient care that they receive now. It is, but it makes you wonder that, like, without being able to recruit and retain qualified staff, what does it look like in the future? I mean, it seems like our hospital is in jeopardy, honestly.
And that's because, again, of what you're saying are low wages and maybe even some health and safety issues for the workers, the staff.
Absolutely. We have, just for an example, I mean, we have some. It's not all about wages. I mean, we definitely don't want to just seem like it's just about that, but that's a big part of it. Obviously, we have, like I said, we have workers who've worked there. I mean, their whole lives. They've always worked with Tyler. They know what Tyler used to be. They stayed there their whole entire life and their whole career, and they still don't make a livable wage. Like a wage that, I mean, and we're not going to go into specifics of what people make, obviously, but like a wage that people would make their jaw drop.
Right. And everybody deserves a good wage. No one should be ashamed, in my view, about asking for a fair wage. Now,
it's not like anybody's asking to get rich, we're just asking to be treated fairly and make a fair wage.
Yeah, how many nurses do you see driving around in, really fancy cars and living large all the time? Not many. They work hard, long hours. Yeah, we know.
Absolutely.
And you deserve more for sure. Everybody, all the staff at any hospital. You have my support for sure. Now, the community, do you think they're going to support you when you go on strike?
I mean, it's been put out onto social media platforms, and obviously Tunkhannock is a very small area. Everybody knows each other. When you put out a Facebook post or something like that, it goes far and wide. And I would say the majority of the responses we've gotten were positive. I think a lot of the community supports us, and I think we're going to have a lot of support from the community and, I mean, surrounding areas too. There's not a whole lot of hospitals around here, you know?
No. And to add to what Melissa said, you know, a lot of to what we are doing, you know, yes, there's a lot in the contract that we're asking to benefit us, but it's also to benefit our patients and to benefit the community. We understand what an asset our hospital is to this area, especially since in an emergency situation, the closer hospitals could be anywhere to a half an hour to 45 minutes away. You know, we are crucial sometimes in making sure that if you have to go to one of these bigger hospitals, like for instance, if you're having a heart attack or something along the lines where you need to be stabilized, if we weren't there, you might not make it to your next destination. And, you know, a lot of what we are asking for is not just to benefit us, but it's also to benefit our patients. Patient care is very important to us. And when we see things that need changing within the hospital that would help to improve patient care, again, these are all things that we've brought to the table that we want to be taken seriously on.
So
it's not just for us.
So the things that you see at the hospital that can be improved outside of, you know, wages and things of that nature, you want codified. You want to be assured in the contract language, and that would benefit the patients and the community because the hospital would be committing to a high standard.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, our contract has been up since February 28th, but we're still there. We still show up every day, and we show up because we know our patients are relying on us. We know our community is relying on us, and we know our coworkers are relying on us.
Now, when you look at unions in general these days, oftentimes they're given a bad rap. You know, maybe there's a bit of a resurgence to a certain extent, slowly though, in my estimation. You know, and where you folks live, I'm wondering if it is a strong union community, or if that's not going to be an issue because it is a small, tight-knit community, and they look at you as a valued member of that community, so they're going to support you. What do you think the dynamic is when you're going on strike here and you're trying to fight for fair wages and for a hospital that functions at a high standard?
If I could be honest, this is actually my first time ever dealing within a union. Was when I started working at Tyler. And what I never realized coming into this is, you know, people talk about the union. The people and the employees are the union. Like, we are the union. You know, yes, we have an organizer and representatives, and they just basically help to steer us in the right direction and let us know what our rights are. But, you know, ultimately, those 83 people, we are the union. So that's something I never understood until I, you know, dealt with the union myself.
Was that Melissa or Danielle? I'm getting you guys mixed up.
Danielle.
Danielle. Thank you so much. Again, we're talking to Danielle Adams, service tech, and Melissa Teetsel, an RN at Tyler Memorial Hospital in Tunkhannock, Pennsylvania. They're part of the union there that is represented by the SEIU, Service Employees International Union. And they're going on strike. They're on strike because they're not able to convince the administrators at Tyler Memorial Hospital to agree to a fair language for their contract. Their contract has expired back in February 28th, on February 28th, and they feel this is the way now that they have to go. I'm sure you don't want to go on strike. You just feel there's no other option.
That's 100% true. Nobody wants to go on strike. I mean, this is first off, I will say it's unprecedented for Tyler Hospital. I don't really know that anybody, including staff, management, or community, would have really seen this coming. But I mean, we honestly thought that we would have been able to come to a fair contract and an agreement by now. So, I mean, nobody wants to, you know, miss 3 days of work. Nobody wants to, you know, stand outside in like 47-degree weather while it's raining. You know, it's not ideal, but this is what we've been pushed to.
Absolutely.
Go ahead. You totally agree.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Melissa, she's absolutely right. None of us wanted to be here. None of us saw this coming, but unfortunately, this is kind of where our hand has been forced at this point.
And you need community support now with this strike. I would venture to guess. I'm sure that's one of the main objectives, is to get attention to what is going on. So how can the community help you folks?
When they see those posts on social media, share them and share their stories of, maybe some situations that they've had at Tyler, good stories, or, just get the word around that, maybe just to spread the word that we're trying to come to a fair agreement, and, maybe encourage, writing some letters to local legislators, or, anything like that, any way that they can find to support us is good. I mean, coming out to the strike line and just spending some time with us.
Absolutely. Stand with us. If you're unable to stand with us, like Melissa said, social media has such a huge impact on everyday life for a lot of people anymore. So just share our stories, or share your stories. Help us put the pressure on CHS and let them know that, Tyler is a very important part of the community. Like Melissa said again, contact your state representatives, your senators, contact the hospital CEO if you have to, and just let everybody know that Tyler is an important part of your community, and that we need to be there.
Well said. Well said. And, when you think about the fact that the community is really what is being affected, the people who work at the hospital are from the community. They live there. The people who go to the hospital are from the community. So it is a huge part of northeastern Pennsylvania, of Tunkhannock, which is relatively rural, a beautiful part of the state. Have you spoken with? Do you feel like you would have any support from the local government officials, like the mayor, the council, people like that?
We've had the mayor, Stacey Huber. Actually, we did an informational picket back in March, and he was very supportive of it. We've spoken to some local leaders, if you will. We did try and get some time with Karen Boback. Unfortunately, we were unable to do so. But it seems like, as far as some of the local legislators, we do have their support.
And then what about the federal level? I mean, have you gone so far yet? I don't even know if they'll talk with you, but talking to a Senator Casey or a Senator Toomey. I'm not sure who your representative is up there in the House.
I think we actually went a little further than that over the weekend. I don't know if you're aware, but Senator Bernie Sanders actually tweeted at us in support of our strike and of what we are doing there at Tyler.
That's awesome. I was not aware of that. That's so excellent.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Yeah. Was he wearing those mittens?
I hope so.
We could only hope, but I mean.
I know. All kidding aside, this is an adult portion. This is big stuff. It's not to be taken lightly. What you guys are fighting for, the issues that are on the table, and how they affect not only the workers, the 83 employees at your hospital, but the community at large. And I really commend you for doing it. It takes a lot of guts and courage. It truly, I know that firsthand. It's not, at first you might sit back and say, I'm going to get into this union thing and be a tough person and be a fighter. You might say that at first, but once you start seeing what it entails, it's a lot of work, and it does take some guts. So, you guys are fighters, and again, my respect. I commend you.
Well, thank you.
And I hope it works out for you. What do you do? How long are you going to go on strike for? Do you know? Are you willing to talk while the strike is going on? Do you have that figured out yet?
Absolutely. If they come to us tomorrow morning at 7:05 and they want to, bargain and they want to go back to the table and talk about something, then we're willing to talk about it. But until that happens, we are on strike until 7 a.m. on Saturday morning.
So what does that mean? You're on
Absolutely,
strike.
yep.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
What does that mean, the strike exactly? So when you go on strike, no one's going to go in, or just in shifts you're not going in?
Nobody's going in.
Yep. As of 7 a.m. tomorrow, all of our union employees, for the most part, are walking off of the job, and none of our union employees will be working at Tyler until 7 a.m. Saturday morning. So as of now, now I do want to say that the hospital still will be operating. We will still have an ER and such. They have other people coming in to fill. But as far as our union goes, we will not be working during those times.
And when you say tomorrow, people won't know what that means. That's really Wednesday to Saturday. So from Wednesday to Saturday.
Wednesday 21st until Saturday is, I believe, the 24th.
Yes, that's the 24th.
Yeah.
And then will you restart it, or you're not sure? You'll see what happens by that time. Hopefully things will work out by then.
Yeah, the hope is that it'll work out by then. Really all we're asking for is some more dates so we can continue to bargain. So that's the goal. The goal by the end of this is that we're going to have some more days, and we're going to be able to sit down and continue.
Yeah, and you'll show them that you're
able to bargain.
Able to bargain, yeah, that's not much to ask for, and then they'll see that you're serious too. And if you need to talk more, I would be honored and happy to talk with you some more. Melissa Teetsel, an RN at Tyler Memorial Hospital. Danielle Adams, nutritional service tech at the same hospital in Tunkhannock. Part of the SEIU, Service Employee International Union, trying to negotiate a contract with Community Health Systems out of Tennessee. They own Tyler Memorial Hospital in Tunkhannock, Pennsylvania. And I'd like to thank James Myers, who sort of hooked all this up for us, along with Dwayne Heisler, two leaders in the SEIU Healthcare PA organization. So any final thoughts that you'd like to share with the listeners, Danielle and Melissa?
As far as this is Danielle, as far as I'm concerned, I want the listeners and the community to know that we do appreciate and respect you, our community and our patients, and we care for you, and we want to be able to provide the best care for you. So this is where we're at with that, and we hope that you'll stand behind us or stand with us and show your support.
And I agree exactly with what Danielle said. I want everybody to know that this is that patient care has always been our priority. It's always going to continue to be our priority. That's why we're going out there, to be able to continue to provide great patient care. So, and just like she said, I hope that the community and all the listeners who are hearing this support us, and they can either share it on social media when they see these posts, or they can come and stand out with us, or any other way that they can support us.
Danielle Adams, Melissa Teetsel, good luck. Talk with you again soon, hopefully hearing some great news. Take care.
Thank you, Lauren. You do the same.
Bye.
Bye.